going on, guys? Kai here. In today's video, I want to talk to you about PvP tier list for flower fairies. This will not be including Daisy, as she has not been in the game and I have not been able to test her out. It's going to include everybody else, their strengths, weaknesses, and explain why I put them certain ways. Let's get into it. So right above me is the list. You can either grab it right there, or you can jump on my Discord link down below, which will be in the infographics section. You can just download it and it is yours. So I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. We have Chestnut Rose, Camellia, and Candok in the C tier. Now, some people will ask, why is Candok so low? Because she does the heal, and that is, her heal really isn't that good. The stats on it look like it's supposed to be good, but it ends up playing in game to be not that great. It does heal multiple targets, so that's nice, but that's not really doing the job. All three of these don't really pull their weight in the PvP game modes that you're able to use fairies in. Then we have some honorable mentions in the B tier, and we have two base 4 stars. We have Sunflower and Anthurium, who are some standouts. So Anthurium, his special is a heal that does heal for way more than Candok does. This will end up healing at max rank for a buttload of HP, and as you see, as you bring him through the stages on the right, he gives you 2 dips into HP, making his heal even that much better. Then we have Sunflower, which right here, her ability is actually a counter to that, as well as other healing type effects, because she does the 5-second cannot heal, as well as some okay damage. Her damage is lower than all the other the base 6 stars, but you're really picking her for that HP cannot recover. So they are some good honorable mentions. In the B tier, then we also have, where's she at? Marigold. So Marigold is fine because she does do the semi AoE 30% slow. This can do something in if you pull her in Uncharted Battlefield, or if you're using this in Crystal Battlefield, it can do something, but it really doesn't matter. It is nice that she gives you a double dip into crit, as you see on the right, but she's really just not pulling her weight as far as the active skill. Then we work our way to the A tier, and this is where people are going to ask some questions. We have Twin Lotus, who does do a nice damage boost, and really does do some decent damage, but she's one of these, she's okay everywhere, but she's not great anywhere. While she is good, she doesn't outshine the people above here in either PvP or PvE. She is a very baseline A tier fairy. Then we have 2 waters. We have Hydreiga, which is I like to call her Hydro, and I have her here because of her defense buff, as well as AoE silence. Very huge, as well as gives you a little bit of all defense types, making your gladiators much tankier, and just really very A tier PvP fairy. Then we have one that hasn't been released in the newer servers, Viola. And Viola is very powerful, and you'll see this in all of the newer fairies. All the older fairies, their basics only do small AoE damage, and that's it. All the newer ones have bonus effects on their basics. So if we take a look here, you get the Flake Ice. Flake Ice does extra damage and slows. It's very powerful. Then we have Falling Star, big AoE damage, does decent damage, and also does the Flake Ice. So it works off of that passive basic attack bonus. The 6 time drastically reduces the movement speed of and removes all stacks. This is somewhere around 90+% slow, similar to the armor's cannon. Uh, this is a powerful skill. Her damage is AoE and is a decent size, but I don't believe that just the pure damage puts her in that S tier. Last thing to note on her is we do have, if we come here, formation, we do have the level 2 with 3 water fairies deployed, which is very, very strong for the power. Then we look into the S tier, and first we're going to have one of my favorites, Primrose. And that she has a dip of all the defenses. We're also about to get the level 2 Earth Echo, which is going to be very, very powerful. Rivals the water level 2 Water Echo. And if we take a look, AoE stun, decrease received damage. This is a rigidity, effectively, and can be stacked on top of your rigidity. That just is ridiculous. She doesn't do the greatest damage, but her AoE stun and reduce incoming damage, she is by far an S tier fairy for PvP. Then we have Balloon Flower, and this is just because she mainly gets her spot here because she does something no one else does, and that is a pull in. And she's a combo fairy. So if you take a look, she pulls everyone in and reduces their defense by 20% for 3 seconds. Has a little bit of everything, some offense stats, some defense stats, but really that pull is what she's really here for. And if it wasn't for the pull, she'd be down in the B tier. But she does something that no one else does, pulls them all in, making it easier to land your Frostworm, your Tornadoes, all of your sword skills that do AoE type stuff, or as well as pulling them into the cannon stuff. A flamethrower, with everyone pulled in, they're dead. Then we talk about another one who hasn't been released on the newer servers, and that is Licorice. And she's very, very powerful. As you see, basic is the same as everyone else's, all the older fairies. And what sets her apart is she has the highest damage skill in the game, and that is because this hits 6 times, assuming all the hits hit. It is the strongest, and it's also the longest stun duration in the game at 4 seconds. She will always be powerful in PvP. Then we have another one who hasn't been released on the newer servers, and one I haven't talked to you guys at all about on this channel, and that is Mistletoe. So Mistletoe is very, very powerful. If we look at her passive basic, she does damage based off your attack and heals you based off damage done. This gives you a way to get that HP steal rate, kind of, that only sword users or IOs really provide. Then you have her Dragon Cage Symbiosis, which that's one of the coolest names in the game. Tell me if I'm wrong. Dragon Cage Symbiosis just sounds really cool. But does a bunch of damage, gives you a shield. If they try to leave the area, then they get then they take more damage, and it's just very, very nasty in PvP. Also heals you based off of damage done, similar to the basic attack. You kind of always want to have her out. She's very, very powerful. Then we have one of my favorites right here, Anathria. So Anathria, as we see, is mostly offensive stats on the far right. Her basic isn't really anything to write home about, but her execute on Time Sickle will always, always, always be powerful. Her with Slaughter will slaughter people. As long as you have them under 40% for her effect, which it's 60% for Slaughter, so you have to play that little game. But when you put them under 40, then you hit with her, and she does 80% more damage, and they cannot heal for 5 seconds. She's very, very powerful, and the base damage rivals the other fairies as well. She's only a few points short of Licorice when we talk about flat damage when she does what she needs to do. So that's it, guys. That is my tier list for the flower fairies for PvP. Down below, put fairy PvP space and what you liked or disliked about the video. Till next time, guys.